Hi, I'm Oliver Tolentino. Welcome to Hiraya Magazine.
We know that you started sewing at a young age. Who were your mentors that encouraged you to create?
My mom is my main mentor because she's the one who encouraged me to follow my dreams when I was young. She already knew that I will be a fashion designer at a younger age because instead of playing with my cousins, I'm playing with a sewing machine.
What were some of the first things that you created?
School projects because in school they will require you to make like a pajama outfit, but I made this overall jacket with a matching hood, a matching slippers and gloves, and the teacher told me that I don't know how to grade you because you exceed what we expected for a project. I really adored when my mom will give me the Vogue fashion magazine, the Elle magazine, and I was so fascinated with Hollywood actresses wearing this beautiful red carpet gown, and I always dream about it. And from a younger age, instead of like drawing houses or flowers, I'm drawing clothes. And all the my notebook in school, when you open it, it's all about like fashion sketching, and I already knew from the start that I will be a fashion designer. I studied in Slim's Fashion School in the Philippines, Fashion Institute of the Philippines, and FCI. So I went to three fashion school because I think fashion you never stop learning, and I really want to like hone my talent and discovered that talent within me, and going to school makes me feel young and learn more. Some of the designers I look up to are Pitoy Moreno, Ario Alonso, Ben Ferrales, Joe Salazar, Christian Spiritu. They are the pillars of fashion in the Philippines. Of course, my favorites is Valentino, Christian Dior, Chanel. They are the one that inspired me to create these beautiful red carpet gowns.
Tell us about the beginnings of Oliver Tolentino, the brand.
I started very young because after high school I took up fashion designing before entering the university. So during the time that I was in the university, I'm already designing clothes. With my classmates behind me, they always ordered clothes. In the Philippines, we don't have uniforms in the university, so everyone wanted to be fashionable because after schooling, we go to the bars, we go to the disco. So that's how I started, like making clothes for my classmates. Growing up in the province, my ultimate dream is to have a boutique here in the United States. So from the province, I moved to Manila to fulfill my city dreams in the Philippines. But what's next after Manila? So when I opened a store in 2009 on Melrose, that dream already came true. And when I saw people visiting my store, adoring the clothes, the display window, that's a big fulfillment for me. And it's so nice to say that um, expanding in the United States and having a store in the Philippines is a big fulfillment for a fashion designer. And I wanted to set an example with the younger generation in the Philippines that when you dream, you have to dream big. You cannot only do what you're always doing every day. You have to excel in everything that you do, and that's what I've done. Like from the province to Manila, and now here in Los Angeles.
Could you tell us your most memorable moment in dressing a celebrity?
I'm a fan of American Idol, so when I saw Carrie Underwood wearing my couture, piña gown on the screen, I was so fascinated. I feel so honored to be her designer that time, and showcasing the piña fabric, which is originally from the Philippines. That felt good as a Filipino designer because I think as a Filipino designer, you have to promote your local fabric.
Do you believe that the use of Philippine-made fabrics in the international market is growing?
I think the Filipino fabric is growing because I think The weavers are running out of fabric right now in the Philippines because they keep on exporting the local fabric, and I feel good about it because our local fabric is 100% eco, and I think fashion is leaning toward that path. And us as a Filipino designer, we're the biggest promoter of it, and I feel proud when I know that it will be in the market soon. Besides piña, I also use abaca from Palawan, also the silk from Negros. So these are the few fabrics that I'm using, and there's a lot of weavers that's experimenting right now with another fiber, which is saluyot, a vegetable fiber, and also they're using water lily fiber to create an alternative for piña. I think the future of Filipino designer right now, there's already Filipino designer there. There's Josie Natori, Monique Lullier. My ultimate dream is to add more Filipinos in the fashion scene. We're not the future, we're already there. A lot of Filipino designers are well known all over the world because of pageantry, Philippines are well known for pageantry. Every Filipino dress up different candidates and showcasing the talent of the Filipino in making couture clothes. And there's other well-known designers like Monique Lullier and Josie Natori who are really expanding their brand all over the world. I get inspired when I'm just by myself in a nice scenery. Mostly when I travel, that's where I get a lot of inspiration. I don't know, it just comes out. Sometimes when you're sleeping and you're dreaming of a beautiful gown, I usually wake up and do some sketching. So it comes in many ways, but mostly traveling makes me creative. Talking to my clients and people get me inspired of what I'm doing.
Could you give any advice to any of the young Filipino designers out there?
Okay, I have a lot. My ultimate advice to the younger generation is to be true to yourself. And if this is if this is the path that you wanted to choose, you have to know about the business. Fashion is not all glamour, it's hard work. You have to work several hours to perfect a piece. And being a fashion designer, you should know how to cut, you should know how to sew, you have to know how to do pattern and embellishment, because you cannot only sketch. Sometimes sketch is beautiful to look at, but it's how can you produce it. Being involved in making clothes is very important. You have to know what you're doing. There's a lot of fashion people that will ask you questions. You have to be ready about it. If you don't know about making clothes, you cannot answer it correctly. I think you have to hone your talent and know the business very well before you enter into this kind of business, because fashion is the most influential I think career right now. To the younger generation, I want you to be true to yourself. Study very hard, know about construction. That's very important. You have to know how to sew, how to make patterns and embellish, because if this is your chosen career, you have to know the business very well. So I hope that your dream will come true and this is your chosen path.
What's your favorite Filipino dessert?
My favorite dessert is calamay kanin from Bataan.
What's your favorite dish to cook, Filipino dish to cook?
I love to cook kare-kare.
What is your favorite destination sa Philippines?
My favorite destination in the Philippines is Boracay.
Who's your favorite singer?
My favorite singer in the Philippines? It's too many to mention because Filipinos are all singers. And a lot of singers in the Philippines are extraordinary, and I cannot even choose who's the best one.
Favorite actor?
My favorite actor is Christopher De Leon. Maraming salamat, Hiraya. Thank you for choosing me to be part of your magazine.